complicate things. One of my many skills, I'm making things up, all in my mind, 'cause I analyze their body language. I hear every change in their tone. Maybe they hate me, somehow I blame me. My mama said that's just the weight of the world. It's not personal, it's just how it works. Don't be angry for too long or get burned, 'cause that's just the weight of the world.
Being a child of the 70s, actually, I was born in 1958, so I was a child of the 60s and a teenager of the 70s. Okay, it was the Twiggy time, you know. I just have to say Twiggy. You know what I mean, Twiggy? She was Twiggy. She was a twig. And so when I was a little girl, I was really overweight. So I wasn't even normal size. I was just a chubby little child. A chubby little child. All the other little girls were skinny. I was tall, and I was probably a good 20 pounds overweight, and all the other little girls were, skinny. Even the tall girls were skinny. I was just this chunky little girl, and, my mother put me on a diet, and, it was kind of rough, you grow, all I knew is so I had like these oxymorons going on. My dad and my mom would make me eat everything on my plate, right? And then I was a chunky little fat kid. I was. And then my mom would put me on a diet. So, then how do you put a 8-year-old child on a diet? Or, I was 8 years old and they put me on a diet. 9 years old and they put me on a diet. But then, so you grow up getting in trouble if you don't eat every little thing on your plate. And then your mother would say things like, but what about, think about all the starving children in Africa. Yeah, no. So, I don't know what to say about that. I know it plays little games in your head when you grow up. My mom didn't know any better, neither did my dad. My mom was 22 when she had me. So by the time I was hearing the childhood in Africa, and she's putting me on diets when she was 30, okay? So by the time I turned, I think I was about 17 years old, and I lost all the weight. So I went through grammar school, junior high, and my high school years overweight. And by the time I lost the weight, I was 17 years old. And I lost all the weight. And then everybody in the family was saying, oh, you look so good. And my dad would praise me. You look so good. I never got praised for other things because, I was dyslexic when I was in high school. So I was put in the dumb person's math class because I was numerically dyslexic. I figured out how to read words, thank God. But numbers got twisted upside down and all around. So even though I knew I was doing all of the formulas correctly, the answers never came out right. Let's just say they put me in the class with slow learners. I can add and subtract stuff in my head. When I ended up becoming my own business, I became a business owner. I could figure out everything in my head. I could add numbers, I could subtract and divide in my head. However, you know, when I try to write it down or add and subtract or use a calculator, I would never enter them in correctly because I was seeing the numbers wrong. I don't know. So nothing ever added up right. I finally figured out how to work that out. But when you're numerically dyslexic, you're overweight as a kid, you're put in classes where you know, for the not so smart. I was also an asthmatic, so they put me in the classes with the kids that couldn't work, you know, be normal on the field. That's how I grew up. So, needless to say, when I look at it, it took me a long time. I mean, honestly, I'm 66 years old, and it dawned on me today. That I'm actually not overweight. Okay? I don't have to be pencil thin or weigh a certain amount on the scale. Because when I was told I looked so good, once I lost all that weight and got praised and I was getting attention from boys, and, you know, I was making the girls jealous, and when all that things, that was like, that went to my head. That was like life-changing for me. So I was always trying to be super thin after that, because I always thought thinness equaled approval. Do you understand? So now I'm not looking at that. What I'm looking at now is I want to have lean, strong muscles, and I want to be a normal looking woman. I don't want to be overweight, because that's just never going to happen in my head now. You know, when I get overweight, there's a thing subconsciously that happens, and I go into a deep depression. So that ain't happening. But I'm telling you right now, I'm learning how not to have look at myself in the mirror and see something else that's not there. I'm 66. How old are you? How long does it take for someone to come to that conclusion in their heads? Yeah. You tell me. I'm not mad at my parents. My parents, they didn't understand. You know, you're growing up with a bunch of kids that called you fat girl in school. That was not easy to do. My sister and I were both bullied. Yeah. So, everybody's got a story. That's part of my story. It's just one little part of my story. I'm making a promise to myself. I will never starve myself again. I will make sure that I eat the right amount of protein and macros to nourish my body and help me have muscle and no brain fog and energy. I'm learning. I'm 66 and I'm learning. I should have gotten gas. Guess I'm gonna have to get gas tomorrow. All right, this is Lady Yaya signing out for the rest of the day. I'm on my way home. I'm almost home. Hey, did I ever tell you I love you? I do. Bye for now. I'm stopping my car because I'm at home almost. Mwah.